Welcome to Frontline Leadership, the place where leaders leave inspired and equipped. So we're going to be starting a whole new series. This series is called The Dividing Line. And it's called The Dividing Line because throughout the next few weeks, we're going to be looking at common clashes, common tensions that teams experience. And oftentimes it's quite difficult to put your finger on what it is that contributes to the tension or to these clashes. And I guess what I'm going to be unpacking is key differences and really significant separating lines that kind of contribute to the culture of a team. Oftentimes it's in relation to our preferences and it's in relation to how we go about approaching a task. And week by week, for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to be going over these really intricate themes that contribute to the dividing line that sometimes could be quite pernicious for teams. So here we have it. This is week 1, a very common clash, a very usual team tension, has something to do, interestingly enough, with how we take in information. Track with me just a little bit. So, are you one of those people that if you're taking in information, the truth of the matter is you kind of want to hear the big idea. You kind of want to hear the main gist of the information up front. And then there's a part of you that's like, yeah, let me get that. And then I can work out the details later. So there's that approach. But then we have another approach. We have another approach where it's like when we're taking in information, you kind of want to see it, really in a really piece by piece format. You like it systematically, digested. You want it precept upon precept. You want it line by line. You want it in coherence and in a consistent fashion. So instead of this whole big idea thing, actually, you kind of want a clear, systematic way in which you're going to take this information in. I know it seems random, but it's so significant. And this is why. Funnily enough, what you find with those that have more of a tendency towards big ideas, give me the big idea, I'll sort out the details later. Oftentimes, what you find is that those sorts of leaders, they're more future focused. If you know what I'm talking about, you're probably sitting at home thinking, yeah, that's me. Oftentimes, you spend most of the time thinking about, oftentimes you spend most of the time being ahead of time. Put it that way. You're thinking about where things can go. You're thinking about how things can develop. You're thinking about how things can grow. You're thinking about potential opportunities and possibilities that might arise for your team, for your students, for your staff. Oftentimes, that's what occupies your mind. And then for those that are more inclined to really want to take information in a very kind of systematic, clear and coherent way, oftentimes what you find is actually you're really, really attuned with the here and now. You're really, really good at being aware with where things are at. You've got a disposition that lends itself really well towards consolidation and knowing where things are at, what current problems are, what needs to be kind of focused on so that things can be, really solid in order for us to move forward. I guess in broad terms, what I'm describing is that some of us are more future-focused perspective leaders, where some of us are more present. And this contributes quite significantly, and this can contribute to a dividing line in a team. It can contribute to tension, it can contribute to friction, but it doesn't have to. Being aware of that distinction is massively helpful because both of them bring really valuable insights to the culture of a team and the way how a team could work together once they are aware of it. That's very key. Think of it, if you've got your dreamers, they're going to be able to identify these amazing opportunities or potentially things that might hinder, as well as help a team, an organization and things of that matter. With those that are more future focused, one thing that they might miss out on are the details. And that is where your present focus voices shine. They're really good on what's going on in the here and now. They're really attuned to like where how the organization is functioning right now, and how relational harmony is at, where that's at right now. So again, there is massive value that your future focus leaders bring and your present focus leaders bring. But again, in light of that, being aware of that is significant. If you're not, it might just contribute to those clashes, that tension that you feel sometimes in a team. Like, you know, you might find yourself wondering, why do they, like, can't they see that there's this massive issue taking place and they're off there dreaming about what's next? Mate, we need to think about what's going on right now. And then for your future focus leaders, they're thinking, oh my gosh, why are you just stuck? Like, can't you see all of these exciting things? And you're here in the minutiae of the detail and the day-to-day. How will you leverage this insight? So this is dividing line number 1. Don't let this undermine the impact that your team can have, particularly achieving outcomes in the context where you serve. Are you future focused? Are you present focused? And are you aware of this dynamic so your team is able to thrive?